few opening comments, and then we'll take your questions.
Two things we talk about in this program all the time is composure and resiliency, and we had to OD on those tonight because we certainly didn't start very well, didn't start in very good field position, but look, I couldn't be prouder of our guys. At halftime, nobody blinked, nobody questioned. It was the most together I've ever seen our team, and the theme this entire week was do it for your brother and do it for each other, and I thought they hung tight and did that. Now, with that said, there's a ton of things to clean up and a lot to get better, and I would be remiss if I didn't give Eli, his team, the Missouri Tigers, the atmosphere they had tonight, some kudos too. They played really physical, really hard, and whipped our butt up front. But I'm proud of the way our guys played, and when we had to run it, it's about the only time we could run it when we had to.
Yeah, I was going to those two drives to end the game. Is that you've had a lot of big drives your teams have over the years, but where's that one rank up there?
I don't know because I hate that we had to do that because begs the question why they couldn't do that earlier. And the determination that they showed. We always talk about rising to the competitive nature of an opportunity, and the opportunity arise tonight, and they answered the bell. But if we don't answer the bell earlier, then we won't be a very good football team. We've got to improve in those areas, and it's not like we haven't been working on it prior to tonight. We've seen some of those things show through, and give Missouri a lot of credit. They tried to make us one-dimensional, and it was tough. It was tough sledding tonight. We didn't have our best night for sure.
Kirby, what can you say about what your defense did in the first half when the offense was struggling so much, limiting Missouri even at just 16 points in that first half?
They should. I mean, let's be honest. We got better players than Missouri up front on our defense. I hate to say it, but we do, and Eli knows that. He did a great job running the ball, managing the clock. He shrunk the game. I thought he did a phenomenal job attacking us, taking shots. But our defense rose up. Give Schumann, Muschamp, the defensive staff a lot of credit. They stayed aggressive. There's a lot of players hurt out there. Jalen Carter went down. We got guys dinged up. Warren Brinson's dealing with a groin. Smiles out for a while. I don't know how long he was out, but there was a series of plays he's out. I mean, we got Tresman out there. It feels like he's on one knee, and he's struggling. He doesn't get to practice much during the week. So, I mean, they fought. And the biggest play of the night is probably the Malachi Starks tackle on the 1 yard line, or whatever it was, 1 foot, because it allowed us to stop them. And we have played good red zone defense. I'll give those guys credit.
What does it say about Malachi that he makes a play like that as a true freshman?
Well, it says he's got a lot of ability. I mean, we didn't fit the play right, but we had 2 guys bust on the play, just things we don't do. But for the most part, we bottled up the run. I think if you took that run out, we controlled the run game all night. But that's a big play for Malachi. I think he tried to strip the ball out.
How about Jack's night, Kirby? Jack
Oh, unbelievable. When you said Jack, I was like, who? Pod. It was the pressure. Think about the pressure on each one of those kicks. I mean, I feel for the kid, just repeatedly putting him out there in those pressure situations, and he's so confident, and just he has a way about him that he has a routine he really believes in, and he was the MVP of the night. He and Dejon Edwards for sure.
What are you guys thinking on Jalen? How is he?
It's a knee, so I don't know how bad it is yet. He tried to go back, he couldn't. I think it's an MCL sprain, which is probably good news. Tough too, because it's a tough block. I mean, it's a tough cut block that they do well, and tough on him. But he wanted to go back, he couldn't go back.
Can you talk about what you saw from Bennett today?
Stetson didn't play his best game. I think he'd be the first to tell you. I don't know if whether the atmosphere got to him. He kept his composure. He led 2 really good drives down the field. The one drive before the last drive, he made some big-time throws. But he missed some throws tonight, and I think he'd be the first to tell you he didn't play his best game. And, that's not all Stetson's fault. That's some of my fault, putting a lot on him on the road. That's some of Coach Munkin will take some of that. We all take it as offensive staff and a head coach. Some responsibility of maybe we're asking him to do too much. And I thought he did a good job with what we asked him to do. He does have to be more accurate.
Kirby, what stood out to you from Keeley's performance tonight?
Well, Keeley's one of our veteran guys. He's played the most, you know what I mean? And they threw the ball at Keeley and Kamari a lot, but we also made them throw it to him because when they can't run it, what are they going to do? They're going to throw it at those guys. We got to make some plays on the ball, you know what I mean? Like there's several opportunities that I feel like Keeley should have a pick, and it turned into an incompletion or maybe a PI. And he's got to play with a little more confidence. Same way with Kamari. He had a great play on the last drive. Kamari did that. He played a double move and did an outstanding job. But when you play corner in our defense, you're going to be under attack because it's hard to run the ball.
Kirby, you talked about how close this team was tonight. Just what was the attitude on the sideline, even when things were going well for Missouri?
It was great. We had a great mantra this week that every player had to pick one brother, and he wouldn't leave him without him, and he had to hold him accountable for whatever it is that guy wanted to be held accountable for. And I thought the message for the whole week was: are we taking the 11 best up there, or are we taking the best 11? And there's a big difference. 11 best doesn't win. When stuff goes wrong, it fractures. When you take the best 11, they stay together. And this team bonded tonight. Now, don't get me wrong. We got a long way to go, but the resiliency and the composure they showed made me proud.
That's not something you would do in the offseason. Could you sense that they needed that bonding, that talk this week, to make it an important message?
Well, I didn't want to make it all about Missouri. You make it about the opponent all the time, and you got to make it about yourself, and you got to make it about improvement. You got to make it about us getting better, and not always talking about the opponent. And I thought our guys bought into the oneness and having each other's back, and there were guys saying it in the locker room at halftime, and there was a lot of confidence in that locker room. I think that was a program win in a game that we did not play very well, and the history of the program and the guys believing from last year helped us in the fourth quarter.
Kirby, did Missouri expose anything tonight that you worry might carry over?
Well, every game's might expose to something. I mean, we got exposed on defense the week before, and we worked on things to help with that, and it helped us, right? So they did some really good things tonight that, sure, I don't know if expose is the right word, but they certainly did some good things that, guess what? We got to have some answers for, and we got to get answers for them fast. It starts with getting some wideouts healthy and being able to run the ball.
2 weeks in a row, you guys have put it on the ground, and just bad penalties at the worst possible moment. Anything you can do to kind of clean that up? How frustrating is that for you?
It's frustrating to put it on the ground, but it happens in football. You don't ever want to have it. I mean, we had 3 games without any maybe, and then all of a sudden you get a little rash, and we're not getting them. We're not getting them back. We're not playing the ball in the air. And Chris, I thought, should have had a pick, and we should have had some opportunities to get the ball off them, but we can't put the ball on the ground and be successful. So we got to do a better job managing that.
We talked about Dejon after the Kent State game, but what did you see from his performance, especially down the stretch?
Oh, he's tough, man. He's from the neck of the woods where they grow up playing football when they're 5, 6 years old, and he just wants to carry the ball. And he took some shots tonight, and he got some hard-earned yards at the end. Just the physicality at the end of the game was really impressive. By our offense, we do that drill every Friday and say you got to get 2 first downs, and the defense can put every guy they got in the box. And I'll be danged if they put everybody in the box and we still got 2 first downs and we couldn't do it all night.
How vital was just that toughness from Dejon and timeliness as well?
Well, it was the difference in the game, that and Pod, right? I mean, the toughness he showed and resiliency he showed on that last drive. Let's be honest. Kenny and Kendall did a hell of a job too. Kenny's out there like a wounded man. I mean, the guy was running for the team with great effort, great toughness, running over people, and there's no way you could say he was 100%. I mean, he was doing it for his teammates.
Would you make of Darnell's performance tonight, especially when it seems like defenders are literally bouncing off of him as they make contact?
Couldn't agree more. I mean, a lot of credit goes to Darnell, and Stetson showing confidence in him to throw the ball in his area code, and he goes and gets it. And, people don't give this guy enough credit, but Darnell was one of the leaders in that locker room that was, said, I want to run the ball, get behind me, let me move people. There's a play out there where he absolutely, on Brock Bowers' screen I thought it was a touchdown, but it got to like the 1 foot line that Darnell just destroys a guy. There's no value you can put on that.
It seemed like Kenny kind of set the tone there late with those last couple drives with those runs. Would you agree with that? And how banged up is he? How much time is he missing at each week during the week right now?
I don't know. I mean, he didn't do anything Monday, but he practiced the rest of the week, and he's not full go. We're trying to get him back. It's a quad contusion. I don't think it got worse tonight, so hopefully he'll recover quickly. But in this league, man, who's not beat up? I mean, I promise you, every team in the SEC going home tonight's beat up. It's physical and it's tough, and that's why you got to have depth.
You alluded to this earlier, but Missouri's just resilience in this game, and that kicker who had a tough time catching it already makes 5 tonight.
What was the longest one?
56.
It's incredible.
2 over 50, a 49.
I mean, he was incredible going to the game. I talked to Eli for the game. I'm like, I'd have done the same thing you did. Sit on the ball, kick the field goal to win, and he found a way to lose it twice. you know, and you can't do anything different. And that kid comes out tonight and makes every field goal, and it's a lot of credit to Missouri's players, man. Their defense is, and I felt that way going to the game. You know, the defense coordinator we know well. We've shared a lot of ideas with him. He's really aggressive, and they played us tough.
Speaking of Missouri's defense, what do they do so well to kind of keep our offense from getting going?
Disruptive. I mean, they just attack the line of scrimmage, you know, and you got to make them pay for it. Usually on the perimeter, there's a lot of, I wouldn't call them unsound, but not worried about the pass, and they're really aggressive, and they make up for it by getting hits on your quarterback. They timed up a lot of good pressures. You know, Hopper kid from Georgia played really well for them and made some plays, and they did a good job.
As a coaching staff, is there anything in particular y'all do or say when your offense has a first half like that to get them to flush it and move on and play well in the second half, or it's kind of up to them to kind of take it upon themselves and play better?
We composure and resiliency, right? Give the players a way to help themselves. Your job as a coach is how do you help your players in moments like that. Claude told me walking over here, you had to work tonight. And yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into that, because it doesn't, especially with a little more wisdom, it doesn't do any good to yell and scream and holler and hoop and holler. The kids want to do well. You got to help them. The environment makes that hard. And part of that is planning, you know, having a good plan that if things aren't going well, what can you go to? And, you know, we've always relied on our ability to run the ball in these tough moments like this, and we didn't really have it tonight. And we had it at the end, but we didn't have it early.
Missouri had a couple of big plays through the air tonight. What were they doing to make those happen throughout the game?
I missed you there, what?
Missouri had a couple of big plays throughout the air, tonight. What were they doing throughout the game to make those happen?
They're throwing it and catching it. I don't even know which ones you're talking about, to be honest with you. So, I mean, we played a lot of man. I mean, they're going to throw and catch the ball, and man, I didn't think they destroyed us passing the ball or anything.
You talked about the run game struggling. Can you put your finger on in that first half what it was that was kind of preventing you guys?
Getting your ass whipped up front. That's what the finger was. Like when you put on pads and you got to strike another man and he's across from you and he weighs 300 and you weigh 300, somebody wins and somebody loses. So the finger is we getting our butts whooped. Okay, now scheme-wise, we can maybe help them out. We can do some different things. We can look and find some things. Gap plays helped us. You know, we ran some gap plays and that really helped us. But when you're not running the ball well, you're usually getting whipped.
Let's take two more questions.
What did you learn about your team tonight?
Composure, resiliency, man. They believe in it. They believe in each other. They never doubted. But that doesn't solve the problem that we got to get better. I mean, you know, you sit around a hotel all day and you wait to go play a game, and everybody in the world thinks you're going to go out there and blow some team out. And I've been in this league too long, man. I know different. I know these environments you're walking into. And you know what? It's going to be really hard next week, too. And it's going to be really hard the next week. And it's going to be really hard 2 weeks after that. It just doesn't change. And you guys may think it's going to be easy at some point, but I promise you, it's going to be really hard in the SEC every week.
We saw Arian Smith coming back tonight.
Man, I was proud of him.
How much progress have you seen from him to be where he is?
I didn't think the guy would be back, to be honest with you. I mean, Ron, you know, didn't think he'd be back as quick as he got back. He got back. He made a play tonight, showed some confidence. We need him. I mean, if he had been coming along at this point, I just got a lot of hope for him. And then the injury pulled him away again, and now he's back out there, and we got to find a way to get AD back, and we just got to get healthy at wideout.
Thank you.
Thank you.